So having said that, if you could wake up tomorrow having any new ability or skill, what would you like that skill or ability to be?
I think skill, I'm not sure about skill or ability what I would like to have, but one thing I would definitely like to have is if I wake up tomorrow, I have to have my freedom, which is right now being in the job. Even if you're on the leave, there is something at the back of your mind is keep on going on because it's your responsibility. You need to execute it and you have to do it. I think that's the freedom part which is missing right now. And I'm not talking about freedom from the job or freedom from work. I think what I'm talking about is the mental freedom, the freedom from the stress of what
Hmm.
comes along with the job or with any business. Even if I had my own business, that freedom still won't be there because
Mm-hmm.
then there's a different kind of stress would come in. I think what I would like to do is if I'll wake up tomorrow and I can get a bit an hour of time totally
Mm-hmm.
free,
Mm-hmm.
then probably it would be an ideal scenario. But in terms of having any skill or the ability, I think right now I am working towards it, having to expand businesses into the vertical which I have never touched is
Hmm.
something which I'm looking forward to and working towards it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that about freedom. And I think stress and overwhelm is something which a lot of leaders face. Right. So thank you for being honest about it. And if you have that time, if you have that space that you mentioned, what is it that you will do, that you will fill up your time with? How will you use that freedom?
Like I mentioned earlier, I love to write poetry. I'd love to perform poetry. So that's the time which I do find that right now as well. But it's more of with as it comes.
Mm.
If I have that freedom, then I would like to build the discipline around it to do it more
Yeah.
often. And because that's the creative if I don't know if I'm what I'm saying it will make sense or not, but I have a two complete different personality in the artistic side and to be in the technology and the business operation. So when
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the artistic side of it, I am completely towards it. So I have built my own podcast. I have built my own, like published my own book. Then I created a company around it, which my father runs, the Million Arts, where we help a lot of
Mm.
artists, specifically poets. So these are the things which I feel like gives me happiness. So I would like to spend some time towards that, do
Mm.
my own thing, and having that creative freedom, I think it just opens up my mind to do things in the business side of it more freely and courageously, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're touching upon something beautiful here because leadership is not just like a science. It's not just about research. It's also an art. It's also about being in the flow, and creativity, innovation actually comes from that space, right? Not from overthinking or not being over smart, but actually sometimes being spontaneous and listening or looking for connecting the dots in ways that you would not normally see if you come with a very structured, very planned mindset. And if you can merge these two, I think you mentioned two different personalities, but if you can merge these two and you can be both at the same time, that can actually allow you to be maybe do more in less time, create that freedom, and also give you that happiness or satisfaction. I think that I could see in your eyes, right? When you're talking about poetry, there is something different in your face even now that you take joy out of it.
Oh, it lights up my mood like anything
Yes.
when we talk about poetry. Because I have been into that environment at my home. A lot of poet used to come at my place. My father used to organize a lot of poetry events.
Mm.
So a lot of poets used to come and we used to have a small poetry sessions at home. So I grew up in that kind of environment where this this is in my blood. So
Mm.
something which comes very naturally out of me. And
Yeah.
if I get that freedom to do it, that makes my day.
Mm.
Even if it is single line of poetry I am able to write any day, oh, that makes my entire day.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for giving us a peek into this side of who you are.